Hey guys, today we're going back to basics. We're talking aperture, everything that you need to know in 5 minutes. So grab your camera, let's get going. So what is aperture? Well, the aperture and focal length of an optical system determines the cone angle of a bundle of rays that come into focus in an image plane. Simply put, aperture allows us to control how much light comes into our camera. And with this, we're able to control the depth of field, or how much focus is actually on our subject. Here's an experiment that you can do to test out the effects of aperture and see what a big difference depth of field can make in your pictures.
Next, set your camera to aperture priority mode. This is going to allow you to focus on aperture, choosing one and letting the camera make the changes to shutter speed and ISO to properly expose the image. I put my camera on a tripod and aimed it at my subject, in this case, a statue, and I put some lights in the background. Next, I set my aperture to the widest possible, in this case 1.8. And in real time, I'm going to show you going from 1.8 all the way up to 22. Watch the differences. Once again, here it is at my largest or widest aperture of 1.8, and here at my smallest or minimum aperture of 22. And here's another example, this time with a macro lens. Once again, here's shooting at wide open f2.8 on this lens, and then stopped all the way down to f32.
So now you've seen just how impactful your aperture setting can affect your pictures and video. Typically, you're going to use a very small aperture for things like portrait photography, where you really want to isolate your subject and get that really nice creamy background, and then a higher f-stop number, a higher aperture for things like landscape photography, where you really want to capture all the details in the foreground and the background. Now, lens choice is going to be a huge determining factor on the way that you can use your aperture. Some lenses have a fixed aperture, meaning if they zoom, the aperture is going to remain constant. And some lenses have a variable aperture, meaning they start at one aperture, and the more you zoom in, they're going to change to a different aperture. Fixed lenses tend to be a lot more pricey, and for good reason. If you're shooting indoors or in low light, you're going to want a really big aperture. It's going to allow you to capture more light and therefore have better quality pictures.
Here's one last project for you, to make your own light bokeh. All you have to do is find some lights, adjust your camera so the aperture is all the way wide open, focus to manual, and turn it all the way out of focus.
Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider giving me a like and a subscribe. Drop any questions you have in the comments below, and of course, make mistakes, be yourself, get out there and take some pictures. Cheers.